Well, good afternoon, everyone. If this is your first time on a tech coffee break, just to kind of let you know what it's all about, it's a short web conference where we share ideas or we share how you or someone you might know has used technology to teach, reach an audience, solve a problem. It's meant to be interactive, so please take your mute button off when you feel the need to join in. I would appreciate that. So I don't think there's a way to see a raise of hands, but maybe if you could give me a thumbs up in the chat box if you have ever used Facebook Live. Got a couple people so far. So today, we have a topic to talk about Facebook Live a little bit, but that doesn't mean that we can't talk about anything else. So please, if you want to direct the conversation another way, that's fine. Feel free to jump in. So we've got some good thumbs up over here, and I have to be honest and give myself a thumbs down. I've never used Facebook Live, so I've been just trying to learn a little bit about it, and the first thing I wanted to do is watch a live Facebook video. So I'm gonna try to share my desktop. If somebody could just let me know when they see it. Can you see Facebook open yet?
It hasn't loaded for me yet, Katie.
Okay.
You might need to hit a button or something. I'm not seeing a notification that you're trying to share yet.
It says it's connecting. I'm just...
Oh, okay. Oh, here it comes.
Still nothing?
Here it comes.
Okay.
I see it now.
So I just went to my desktop to Facebook, and I thought, where's Facebook Live? And on the left-hand side, you'll see my name and profile. And if you scroll down, there's apps. And you can click on this live video, and you can see... Oh, I better mute it. You can see the live videos taking place all over America. If you zoom out, you can see around the world. You can watch any of these videos as they're happening. They are open audiences. They allow anybody to watch them. So that's the first thing I learned about Facebook Live. And then I thought, well, how am I going to do a Facebook Live video? And that's where I kind of hit a roadblock because I couldn't find it on my desktop. And so we have with us today Kelly Armbruster, who's the information specialist in ag communications, and Mary Berg, a livestock environmental management specialist at the Carrington Research Center. And they have actually had what they called one hot second with Facebook Live, so they might have a little experience. Mary or Kelly, would you guys share your experience with the actual video?
This is Kelly, and I'll jump in for just a second. But really, Bob is the person to kind of talk through this. We, as Katie mentioned, when Katie asked Mary and I to jump in, we both said, well, we have very limited experience. But the NDSU Extension Service Facebook page did go live back at the end of September, so about a month and a half ago, and we really just decided to do it to kind of see what type of engagement we would get, and we think there is a lot of opportunity for using Facebook Live, and we're going to be using it more. The NDSU Extension Service Facebook page is going to be using it more. We're mapping out a few different live times to go live here in the coming months. We're right now just going to maybe be scheduling about one Facebook Live event a month with the one goal. There, other people might have different goals for why they want to use Facebook Live, but our number one goal right now is just to build awareness and to simply get likes on the NDSU Extension Service Facebook page, to build followers and likes. And so that's our number one goal, which sounds kind of simple. You might think, well, why aren't you using it to dive deeper or to truly, we want to have conversations with people and things of that nature, but we saw some really great insights when we used Facebook Live the first time. If you haven't had a chance to check out our Facebook Live video, you might want to go do that and see how it kind of went for us. But what we did is we chose to use it to, we listened in our Facebook Live session, we listened in on a Sound Ag Advice radio show that we did with Daryl Richardson, the interim director of the North Dakota Agriculture Weather Network, NDAWN. And so we listened in on him doing a Sound Ag Advice radio recording, and then we took live questions for weather-related questions for Daryl. So a few of the things that we to start off with, a few of the things we could have done better is probably to have marketed that Facebook Live session better. We kind of did it spur of the moment, last minute, and we really didn't build much marketing about it ahead of time. We just sent out a Facebook event notification, I think maybe about 12 hours or 18 hours ahead of time. So we really could have done a better job in promoting it. Looks like Bob just put up an article that he and Sonia wrote about our Facebook Live. And Bob, please feel free to jump in at any time. So we could have done a better job promoting it. We also discovered quite a bit of kind of a few technical difficulties along the way, and we're not sure if that was related to the phone we were using or if it was related to campus Wi-Fi not being super strong, but we had some issues with some lag time, and then at the very end of our video it just completely froze up, and like I said, we just had to kind of end our Facebook Live session after about, I'm not sure how long we went, about 18 minutes or so. I'm not exactly sure, but 15 minutes maybe is what it looks like. But so we ended up just having to end our Facebook Live session kind of due to technical difficulties. So that's something that we are wanting to work on. What else? We also had problems with sound. We recognized afterwards that most depending on your phone's speakers and whether most phones have front-facing speakers, so it was really easy to hear people that were holding the phone towards them, if that makes any sense, versus in our Facebook Live session it was hard to hear Daryl Richardson when he was speaking, and so that kind of made it hard. So we are experimenting with microphones and different kind of setups to work on our sound. But like I said, please go take a look at the link that Bob provided and learn from our mistakes. What we did, one of the reasons we are, even with all the kind of problems we had, we did take a look at our insights afterwards, and it was probably the most popular thing we've ever done on our Facebook page. We reached 953 people through our Facebook Live video. We had 60 people engage with the post. At any one time, the most peak live viewers we had was 28 at one time. We had 251 unique viewers, so different people, the 251 different people go look at our video, and we had 283 video views, so about 30 people possibly watched it twice or whatever. So we had good performance from the video, and so that's why we're continuing to use, or going to continue to use, Facebook Live to build awareness and engagement about the NDSU Extension Service Facebook page. So I've rattled on long enough. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Well, thank you, Kelly. I think you guys are on the right track. I know you said in the beginning your goal is to get likes and followers, and I think that Facebook Live is a way to do that, because most often now, I think when people are scrolling through their Facebook feed, they're stopping on the videos or the pictures, not the comments as often. And so I think you're on the right track there. Obviously, that was solidified when you received the 953 people watching your videos. That's amazing. So I think, we need to work past the technical difficulties maybe, and we could really be doing some good things with the Facebook Live if we get the chance. Any other thoughts or ideas with what Kelly said?
I'll jump back in for just a second and say that our strategy on a statewide level might be different than what someone at a county or an REC, what your strategy might be. Maybe your strategy is to have more of a conversation with people and use Facebook Live as a way to talk to people that you might not get to come to a meeting, or it might be a way to, like I said, answer questions or things of that nature on a more personal level, and we hope we can build some of that engagement through our NDSU Extension Service Facebook page. But what we're working, like I said, right now on is solely to build likes and followers. So some of the so what we're working on in the coming months and is we've been brainstorming topics that we feel will get the most engagement, that appeal to wide audiences. So not to let the cat out of the bag, I don't think it's a secret or anything like that, but so healthcare and signing up for insurance is something that's on a lot of people's minds right now since open enrollment is going on. So Carrie Johnson, the new family and personal finance specialist, will be joining us to talk about insurance and how to understand your insurance policy and plan coming up. And then we also hope to have Julie Garden Robinson be doing a holiday food safety type, holiday foods type of Facebook Live event. And then also we had thought about after Christmas also doing a budgeting or saving money for the new year, kind of a New Year's resolutions about saving money Facebook Live event. So those are what we kind of have in the hopper and what we're thinking about in terms of building that awareness and likes and followers. So just to give you a little preview of what we have coming up.
I think that sounds awesome. Anyone have any questions for Kelly? Well, Mary, would you want to share your experience with Facebook Live?
Yeah, so I'm actually on my phone, stopped at a rest area here on my way to Fargo. So are you doing video today? Because it's not showing me video. I forgot my wireless at home.
I don't have a video up, no. Okay,
perfect. So I did part of a Facebook Live deal with Miranda Meehan, and I don't know if Miranda's on today. If she is, I'm going to look to her to tell us some numbers in a little bit here. But what we did, she's not.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. really you can just go to that page and look and see the views on it later. But at any rate, for the livestock stewardship, animal stewardship classes that she held, so she held 4 meetings in 4 different parts of the state. And so for one of them, Miranda's always up for trying something new, and I was, it was just a couple days actually after Bob and Kelly did this Facebook Live thing. I was like, we should be doing this for everything. This is great. And so I said, hey, you know, if you need help with anything, Miranda, let me know. I'll be in Carrington that night. And she's like, well, in fact, I do. Why don't you do Facebook Live? And so we tried to make it as interactive as possible, as in we did a little bit of practice. We practiced with Bob, made sure everything was set up right. We had the microphones for the cell phone that Scott actually has on campus that you can check out from AgCom. And so you have a little microphone that you plug into your headphone port, and then there's like a 20-foot extension on it. And so we set the phone that was going to do the recording of the presentations and what was going on in a tripod, because he has the tripod cell phone holders as well. And so we set that whole unit up so that the phone would be stable and sitting there recording. And then I actually got on a computer on a laptop right beside it and tried to interact with the people watching. So something with Facebook Live, at least that I've learned from watching other live events, is you have to introduce yourself several times, because you're going to have people coming in, going out, like, what the heck are they doing here? What's going on? Because I came in 20 minutes late. And so instead of me popping in front of the camera, because typically you would just turn your camera around and say, hey, it's Mary from NDSU. We're here doing an egg stewardship class, and then you would turn it back to whatever's going on. Well, I struggled because it's a formal event, not formal, semi-formal presentation with the people standing up front talking like we do in Extension, but we wanted to incorporate this kind of random technology into it. And so instead of me popping up in front of the camera every 10 minutes saying, hey, by the way, this is Dr. Stucker presenting right now, I just did that via typing. And so whenever I would see somebody new come on and say, hey, you know, here's who's presenting, or here's what they're talking about, or if you have any questions, let me know, and just really try to stay active that way. And we didn't have a ton of people coming on live, and so I would say probably we had like 10 people all at once, but we had awesome views afterwards. I don't remember the exact numbers, and that's great, Kelly. I should have looked mine up too, but I was just very surprised. I know we had up to 400 on one of the presentations and 300 on another one, and I had friends, because I was logged into my personal account also following and doing some stuff, sharing on my personal account as well, and so I was sharing it on my personal page, and so my friends were coming on, friends that I would say needed to be on there, but that I wouldn't typically find at an Extension meeting. And so I thought that was kind of cool too to see. And I don't know how many others of those 299 people were like that. So I thought that was a really neat deal. The microphone definitely helped with the sound. We tested it beforehand. We did a few different things. And really, we noticed that the mic had to really be clipped either, you know, right on the shirt or very close to it. It was fine when you had one person up there, as long as that person wasn't running around, because like I said, we had, you know, just a 20-foot extension, which is still quite a bit of room to move around when you're presenting. But where we had one presentation where we had 2 people speaking, and that got a little tough because they had to pass it back and forth, and so naturally they probably would want to have stood on either side of each other and just kind of, you know, talked back and forth, but they had to stand beside each other, and so there was a bit of awkwardness there, and that's got me thinking, and I haven't actually talked to Bob or Scott about this, but if we continue on with this mic deal, and if there's not a wireless mic option or Bluetooth mic option or something, is there like an adapter, you know, like a V or a Y or something, that we could have 2 microphones on the same phone doing this? And I know this isn't typically how Facebook Live is used, but I think why not? Why shouldn't we do that? So that's kind of my experience with it. I think you can be as crazy interactive as you want, or as random as you want to. and so I say crazy interactive because I really wanted to interact with people. I wanted people to know that if they were there, I knew they were there. And so that's my experience. It was fun. It was intense. It was exciting. And I will definitely do it again.
Thanks, Mary. Does anyone have any questions for Mary? Somebody typing in the chat box, maybe a question? Maybe not. Okay. I guess just a question to both Kelly and Mary. You both had, it sounds like, another person on hand when you went through this. Would you recommend having a person there with you, or would you do it on your own, or any pros and cons to those things?
So I think if I'm just doing an informal, like, invite or something like that where, because I'm just thinking, like, this would be really fun to do with my manure haulers when I invite them to come to their meeting. So for that, I would probably literally turn the camera around and do a quick, hey guys, you're invited. Don't forget, sign up. Here's the day to sign up. You should have got your save the dates in the mail. Check your mail. La la la. And likely they wouldn't be on live, but it would post to their page. And so that's the other thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately is, like Katie said, we go through Facebook now, and if it's not a video or a picture, we're probably not stopping. Unless, I don't know, probably not stopping. And so I don't know that that Facebook Live would necessarily be used in its correct fashion when I would do something like that, like an invite, because I don't think any of them would be on then, but they would see the video later. And so for that, I wouldn't say that someone else had to be on, but if I'm doing it at a, like an actual presentation, like a winter meeting or something, it's just really helpful to have somebody else there to help.
I would completely agree with Mary in that the way we're planning to use NDSU Extension Service Facebook page when we go live is we're actually, I think, going to be using it's kind of going to be a 3-person system, and that we have whoever we're kind of the guest or, whoever the information is coming from or whoever's presenting. And then we plan to have a host type person to be looking at comments, questions, interacting with the guest, and also kind of, as Mary had mentioned, kind of serving as that person to acknowledge people, to kind of break in and say, hey, we're live with so-and-so, give them a like, ask your questions now, to kind of keep reminding people what's going on as they're joining in live. So we have that person, and then also we plan to have a third-party person to kind of make sure that the tech is running smoothly, to be listening in and, to kind of let us know if, hey, we can't hear you right now, or to kind of also serve as a behind-the-scenes kind of moderator to also be commenting as well, or answer if someone answers a question. We have somebody if that question needs to be answered through, typed chat, we have somebody doing that, or if a link is mentioned if we say, hey, go to the NDSU Extension Service publication on such and such, we could put, have someone in real time putting that link up in the chat bar. So we plan to kind of run a 3-person system to cover all our bases, but I don't think that is, though that's what we're planning on, don't let Facebook Live scare you. I think in this day and age, we see people going live all the time on our own personal feeds where they're literally holding their phone up and talking with noise going on. They're Facebook living from a football arena or whatever it is. So I think that in this day and age, we're seeing very spontaneous things happening, and I think that's okay too. So whatever is exciting to our people, our target audience, if we have questions that need to be answered, I don't think you should ever go, oh, I don't have 2 people to help me right now. I'm out in this field and want to talk about Palmer Amaranth, or whatever it is you've got going on, I would never be scared to do that, because I think that some things happen spontaneously and make for great Facebook Live sessions. So that's my advice.
Thank you both. Yeah, I think that people are very accepting of maybe not high quality videos when it comes to Facebook Live. They'll be okay with whatever you do. Does anyone else want to share their experience?
Bob, I know that there are things that I did not cover at all about our Facebook Live session that I'm sure you could offer other insight. I was just going off the cuff there, so.
No, you did a great job, Kelly. I think you covered all of our struggles. The one thing, I think it's mentioned in the article too, and maybe everybody knows this by now, but Ashley Euchert is the first one that I saw on NDSU Extension use Facebook Live, and she did an update from her desk, and so she was doing it by herself, so she used her front-facing camera, so her, your selfie camera, and when you do that, just be aware that that camera mirrors the video. So what Ashley was doing was holding up like some bulletins and things or some posters. They were all flipped. They were all mirror. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are trying to show something. Your rear-facing camera, the camera that you'd use to take a picture of someone else, doesn't do that. So if you're trying to show some print or something, you can use that rear-facing camera. But yeah, that was one of the first things that we noticed. What with the people who said that they used it, Acacia and Lindsay and TJ, like, what did you use it for? Was it personal or extension related? And if it was extension related, like, what kind of things did you put on there?
Oh, well, this is TJ. So I actually just started using it here in the last few weeks, and the first time I used it, it was actually more of a personal reason, but I did it to kind of show some of my friends how it could be used. But I was down at the International Congress of Entomology in Orlando, and we had a K through fourth grade insect expo. So it was a time to show science off to some of the elementary age students, and I kind of just used it to walk around. I went from booth to booth talking about what the activities were going on, how they were done, and if it was something we may want to consider trying ourselves on the 4-H side of things. So that's kind of where I had my opportunity to use it, and it actually worked out pretty good.
Thanks, TJ. I see Acacia also said that some of her 4-Hers sold heifers at a sale, and they used it for that. Acacia, do you want to expand on that at all? Okay, your mic must not be working. So she had over 300 live views. I guess it's just kind of an interesting way because, youth are using these technologies too. Everybody seems to enjoy it. As she said, people seem to enjoy it. But I think that most of us are drawn to those videos or pictures. So I guess I have a couple of questions if nobody else does, because I struggled to figure things out this morning with my desktop. Bob or anyone, do you know if it's possible to Facebook Live from your computer rather than your phone?
So someone might have a more up-to-date information than I do. There's been some articles out there that Facebook is planning to roll out the ability to go live from your desktop to verified Facebook pages, maybe eventually to individual users. NDSU Extension Service is a verified page. I know a couple of weeks ago, before conference, I looked at some pages that were verified, and I could not find a way to go live from my desktop. But I haven't checked since before conference. So, but it's something to look into. So the first step is for Facebook to roll that out to verified pages, as I understand it, and then maybe eventually to individuals. But yeah, as an individual, you definitely have to use your phone, and depending on if your page is verified or not, you might need to use your phone going forward too.
Sure. Yeah, when I was trying to figure things out for this talk, I was looking, and I just did a Google search for "can I Facebook from my desktop," and it said you could use some websites like offered a link to Facebook Live through their website, and I don't know, I didn't try it because I was fearful of screwing something up. But I think that it's promising if there's talks about it coming out later. I think that would help for some of the glitches, I guess, with the mics and things.
Right. Yeah. And I see TJ saying that he used, headphones with a microphone, and that can be helpful too. Just like a microphone that you'd use with your phone, to answer calls and that kind of thing. So the thing about the desktop thing, I'll look into the third-party websites that you're talking about, Katie, because I honestly have not heard of those before, but I would use some caution with those, just because likely you're going to have to give those websites access to your Facebook page, and that is something that you might want to be careful with and not end up with a bunch of spam or something being posted on your behalf through your Facebook page.
Right, that's what I was afraid of. Okay, so I had another question from somebody, and I think Kelly already talked a little bit about the statistics or the quantifying who we've reached, but how can you find that information after you've done a Facebook Live?
I can show that. Oh, you want to do it, Kelly?
Oh, I was about to say, I actually, I think, yes, I think I can.
Okay.
Give me just a sec. Get back to it. Share my desktop. Desktop. So once, I don't know the exact timeline, but once the Facebook Live is over, I'm not sure if it generates immediately, but within, we were starting to get details about how our post was doing almost immediately, and of course, your amount of views and things like that build after, even after, the Facebook Live is over with, because people are seeing it in their news feeds for, however long afterwards. So Bob was really kind to go in and take screenshots of some of our insights, and I believe it's just under, I'm not sure exactly where it's at on the page or what it says, but insights, and then you can see the details on each post. So post details, so it gives you all kinds of neat charts and graphs and things of that nature. So you can see your audience and engagement, and that we reached about 953 people. 60 people engaged on the post itself. It even gives you some neat demographics. So our top audience was women 25 to 34 in North Dakota. I believe you can drill deeper on each of these engagement, marks right here and can see. I think we even had, our top location was North Dakota, and then we also had views in Minnesota and even some international views, which was, it's always interesting, where those, might have came from, but had a few other countries, I think, that chimed in as well. As you can see, this graph on this audience retention is kind of misleading because it makes it look like it really dropped off, but really as kind of the video gets going, then it kind of holds steady. So that looks a little bit kind of off, but kind of have to know how to read these things, and I'm not the best at it either. So of our audience, 93% of them, the video audio played for them in their Facebook feed, and then 5% of our audience actually clicked on it to play it. You can see some of the other... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask if these were coming up as you were recording, because you said Bob screenshotted it, or can you go back and look at it afterwards?
So this stuff, yeah, Katie, is in your insights. So if you go to your Facebook page, right, so click on it in your left-hand navigation, or so you're actually on your page. Up at the top, you'll see insights. Yep. And then when you click on that, there's some left-hand navigation there, and one of the choices there, I think, is video, and then another one might even be live events, but maybe I'm mixing that up with YouTube.
Okay.
But I think it is video, and then that's where you'll find this stuff. And then as you click into each video, that's where you can drill down and see the kinds of things that Kelly is showing you.
Okay, thanks. Sorry to interrupt, Kelly.
Oh, no, that's just fine. And Bob, I can't remember, did you do this about 24 hours after we had gone live? I kind of can't remember.
Yeah, it was about a day later.
About a day.
So that's changed since then.
Right. So some of these, obviously, hopefully our numbers have gone up. Anyone that might have come to our Facebook page in the last month maybe has, clicked on this video to watch it or something of that nature. So we gave it a little time to kind of, for some of these numbers to kind of populate and see where we were at. And it was really amazing, like, as we were getting done with the Facebook Live session, I think our number of, what's the word they use? Reaches or something, not reaches, but kind of think through what they call it. Well, people reached, there we go. The number of reaches was like at 200, and then within 15 minutes it popped up and we were at 300, and then another 15 minutes go by and we're at 500. So it was really amazing to see just how quickly that reach built, just based on time that had gone by. If so-and-so shared it and all of their Facebook friends saw it, that might have bumped our reach up 100 people, or if somebody liked it and one of their friends saw they liked it. It was amazing just how fast that reach built, just within an hour or two after we had gone live. So this is some of the insights that you get, like I said, after. You can get this on any video that you post, and then also on any of just your posts in general. So then this final screenshot that Bob took is kind of showing number of people reached. It shows us that the post is performing 95% better than our other posts on our page, which again goes back to why we think we want to be using Facebook Live to build more awareness and engagement. So I think that's all I got, Katie.
Thank you. No, thank you, Kelly. Does anyone else have any questions?
Hey, whoops. I do have one question. what are the advantages of doing a program on Facebook Live versus using other media or other programs, or disadvantages? Thanks.
So Joe, like compared to like doing it on Skype for Business or something, or
Yeah,
Adobe or Blackboard Collaborate, I mean, or
sure. Yeah.
so this is my opinion, one person's opinion. I would never do a program on Facebook Live. First of all, your video is sort of limited. It's hard to share particular things, like if you have a PowerPoint, not that we should always be defaulting to PowerPoints. But you can't do this like screen sharing and kind of this kind of stuff that we're doing today. Like in Mary's example, they're doing a face-to-face program and they're just doubling it on Facebook Live. I guess I would see the application in less formal settings than. So if you're going to do a webinar, I would suggest using Skype for Business or Blackboard Collaborate, which is sort of that webinar platform that allows for things like we're doing here, like the conversation, the chat, and for you to see how many the list of participants and those kinds of things. And I would see Facebook Live as something a little less formal. As Kelly said, we're looking at it like, okay, so let's do a Q&A. And the big advantage to doing it on Facebook Live is just the reach, right? If we said, hey, we're going to do a Q&A with Carrie Johnson on healthcare questions, and we had people sign up or register or something, we are only going to reach a certain number of people who are already in our sphere, right? Who are on an email list, who read our news releases, whatever. And when you start broadcasting on Facebook Live, while it's live, as people watch it, share it, like it, and all those kinds of things, that video is getting spread to their friends and the people who follow them. So there's sort of an organic multiplier effect that's happening as you're doing it. So I think that's the big advantage of Facebook Live, but I don't think it's any kind of replacement for a formal webinar kind of setting.
I'm just waiting to hear other people's opinions. Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
Well, thanks for the question, Joe. I guess I kind of agree with Bob. I think that purpose is different. Something I could see myself doing with this as a Grant County agent is if I'm out in the field and I see leaf rust on wheat, I could hold my phone up and take a little video of where I am in the county and what I'm seeing, and maybe instantly reach some people that are wondering what's going on out there. And hopefully that would, I guess, like Bob said, reach others as they share it and like it and things like that.
Joe, to kind of comment on, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but it seems to me like when you use Facebook Live, it could reach anyone and everyone. And I'm not saying you would have an audience member that you don't want, but like when we were brainstorming about topics to use on the NDSU Extension Service Facebook Live page, we talked about, so we bring Carrie Johnson in to talk about healthcare and signing up for insurance through the healthcare portal, because we do have a new publication on, it's called like 5 Keys to Understanding Your Healthcare Policy or something like that. And we kind of talk through what are the pitfalls of that, and that what happens if it becomes a rant. What if a commenter chimes in with a rant on the price of healthcare, or why are you all doing this when a private company should be giving this information, or there's all kinds of because you're live, you're kind of opened up to essentially anyone and everyone. Not that that's always a bad thing. I mean, that's what we want, is we're building awareness, but versus some of the other programs like Skype for Business or Zoom or whatever it is, you're speaking to your targeted audience. Whereas with Facebook Live, you're kind of opened up to anything and everything. And so if you're wanting to do a Facebook Live on a very specific topic, you know, it might be best to still use some of these traditional presenting type programs or whatever to talk to the audience that you really want versus wide open audience. I mean, there are positive and negatives to both, in my opinion.
Thanks, Kelly. I agree with that. Does anyone in the audience have an idea of how they would like to use Facebook Live? Such a quiet group. Well, I see Lindsay is typing, so maybe she has an idea, but I just think it could be a way to spark interest, and hopefully that would result in phone calls or office visits or something. So Lindsay says our 4-H awards program is later this week. I might put that on Facebook Live. I think that's a really good idea, Lindsay. That way, you know, the people that aren't able to make it can watch it later. You know, I think it's a great way to recognize your 4-H members too, in a way that they might get excited about if they're on Facebook. Any other ideas or comments? Questions? Okay, well, TJ says over in the chat box that at the NCREC, we have talked about having speakers provide 5-minute recaps after their talks, just to give the nuts and bolts to share with those who couldn't come. I think that's a really good idea, TJ. A lot of times we give a 2-hour meeting, but the people that couldn't be there want kind of the shortened version or the Cliffs Notes. Don says, should we be concerned about privacy when using live with youth? I guess I might let somebody else take that one. I think we should always be concerned about the privacy of youth. I don't know if there's any rules in the 4-H guidelines about that. Does anybody know?
Yeah, I think Lindsay's right. They would have had to have their media release signed. I would also, think about sort of the venue, right? So if someone's showing at the fair, that's a public venue anyway. Anybody could be recording that and streaming it. So it's not really a privacy issue. I don't know about 4-H awards, Lindsay, but maybe that would be a semi-public event. I don't know who all is invited. And that I guess I would see those as different scenarios than a club meeting, right? I think you might want to shy away from a club meeting kind of, scenario. But I would defer to anybody who has more 4-H knowledge and experience than I do.
Thanks, Bob. John, I can do a little checking on that if you would like any more information. Or do you think the media release is enough information? I'm just waiting for Dawn to finish up if she's typing something. I think so. I get nervous when there may be a name connected to a face you don't know who might be watching. I agree. I think that's always a little bit scary. So I guess one thing I think if I were going to put, if it were my 4-H awards, maybe I would mention at the beginning that this would be, we're going to try something new. Maybe it's Facebook Live and see if anybody objects before starting, I guess would be maybe one way to do it. Yes, thanks, Lindsay. Okay, so we're about 10 to 3. Is there any questions or comments or anything anybody joined specifically to ask for? Well, just to kind of recap what I gathered from some of Mary and Kelly's comments, Facebook Live could be a great way to get likes and followers, which could then develop into more educational-based Facebook Live videos. They're a great way to reach a lot of people. Be aware of technical difficulties. Practice beforehand if you can. Make use, if you're near campus, of those equipment checkouts from Scott Swanson. And as one thing Mary said too was people are joining all the time, so try to reintroduce yourself if you get a chance. And then one thing Kelly kind of touched on too was marketing your Facebook Live feed beforehand so people know that you're going to be on. So I guess that's the some of the things that I gathered, things that will help me out. And if there's no other comments or questions, I just thank everybody for coming today.
Katie, I just want to say thanks to you for tackling a topic that you really had no clue about, but something that's definitely relevant, I think, or something that's needed to keep Extension relevant. And so I just appreciate that you took on this topic and you were willing to, and Kelly and I had very little experience too, but I think together as a team, if we keep doing things like this, even if we don't have a lot of experience, we can really grow ourselves and share our experiences and just really get better as a team. So I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mary. And the beauty of this is now we know a couple of people that have some firsthand experience. So if you have questions, we can reach out to one another. All right, well, if there's nothing else, thank you all, and I hope you have a wonderful, quick week.